If you wanna trap like
Well, it's another absolutely beautiful Saturday afternoon as we get set to go racing once again for the TNGG IEL Truck Series. Good afternoon, everybody, one and all, and welcome to the Green Flight TV. My name is Zola Rebel with a bit of an ill voice, but still bringing you all the action from start to finish of the Adminboxx 250. 250 laps then around the world's fastest half-mile racetrack at the last Great Coliseum. It is bound to be an absolutely phenomenal night of racing action. This is going to be a long race, and it's going to be an arduous race. There is a lot that we've got to cover entering tonight, and I can tell you right now, oh boy, are we ever going to be in for an exciting show here tonight. Take a look at the point standings. Entering racing action here with this one, and you've got Scott Rankin, and shot his way to the top of the points boards. The right Sim Racing Wanda Goons driver now on the top with 129 points, 4 clear of Paul Witt. It's only about 15 points that separates everybody inside the top 5 with Paul Witt, Zane Bailey, defending champion Aaron Raymond, and of course Michael Gudger also looking to get things into the fray. Christopher Howell, rumored that he may very well be down and out of the championship, so your driver that was second place in the points last season may very well be finding himself with a bit of a struggle here if he does end up getting himself back up and into the fray. But right now, 27 cars have been putting down qualifying laps and are ready to rumble away. We'll see how this race is going to get going, though, as, holy cow, I am excited. Bristol Racing never disappoints, and I have a feeling we're in for a good one here tonight for the TNGG IEL Truck Series. Of course, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Network Alliance for Veterans. NAV is a program that informs veterans of programming available and services throughout the northeast area of Indiana. Network Alliance also looks outside of Indiana for extra benefits and programs, benefits veterans and their families, all while promoting programs on the NAV site, such as Veterans of Foreign Affairs, the American Legion, and the Fraternal Order of Eagle. Cecil Ross networks with other organizations, such as the Women's Veterans Alliance out of California. And lastly, the Network Alliance Veterans YouTube channel contains live stories and podcasts and advertises various events and benefits. Just over a minute left here before we get racing action underway. 85 degrees Fahrenheit down on the racetrack, 67 in the air, mostly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies, but I can tell you right now, that won't be impacting this race at all. The word is this is going to be a loose racetrack here tonight. You're looking at 15 laps, and then you're falling off by half a second on the pace. Getting loose on corner exits is going to be a huge problem for drivers tonight. Expect the caution, I would think, within the first 20 laps with that one. Splitter does drag on the ground if you use the brakes, and it bounces you through the corner, so we could be seeing some drivers finding the wall early on as well as they get to grips with these trucks on full tanks of fuel. All of that and more will be coming on up here on Green Flight TV as you've got about, 20 seconds left here in qualifying. And, right now, we're just waiting for these final few seconds to tick away. We want to once again thank everybody for taking the time to join us on Green Flight TV. Once again, I do apologize. As it turns out, laryngitis. It's not pleasant. So if my voice sounded a little bit creaky today, a little bit crackly, well, that would be why. So bear with me. We'll do what we can, and we'll make sure to get you all of the racing action here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway. With that, qualifying is at its close, and we are ready to kick things off. So let's take a rundown of how racing action is going to line on up, as you've got 27 trucks that are all getting set to rumble out and go racing at Bristol Motor Speedway. Starting on the pole, you've got Charlie Birch with the likes of Scott Rankin beside him on the front row by just 15 thou. Michael Gudger starts in the number 3 spot with Zane Bailey down in 4th row number 2. Paul Witt is in 5th place with John Holliday in 6th. Jordan Young is in 7th out of New Jersey with Jim Duda out of the Midwest in 8th. Mike Bagwell out of Georgia will be in 9th, and the Capital Esports driver of Greg Pyler will wave the torch for them down in 10th. Raymond Motorsports' Aaron Raymond, your defending champion, lines up on 11th. Thomas Lane Jr. for Team IEL is back in 12th. Jeff Gilmore out of Canada will be down in the number 13 position with Two Brothers Racing's Zachary Gruber in 14th. Turn Sideways Racing's Cody Ricketts is in 15th with Dale Rapp out of Ohio in 16th. Average Joe Motorsports brings it up in 17th with the form of Brad Slago with Goodweiser Motorsports. They bring it up for Jorge Rincon down in 18th. 19th place holds Noah Swafford for Raymond Motorsports, with John Bowaldo Jr. for Jack Dowell Motorsports down in 20th. Robert Amaral is out of New England, is down in 21st, with Anthony Lane in 22nd out of Indiana. LeBon Van Leer out of the Midwest is in 23rd, with Mike Campbell's Papa Bear Racing Machine bringing it up in 24th. Jordan McNair is out of the Mid-South in 25th, with Tom Goker out of the Northwest in 26th. And then Ryan McRoberts will bring it up in that 27th position, taking up the rear of the field. So we're going to get set for 2 pace laps here tonight. One of the big things that these drivers are going to have to watch for is, of course, crashes coming right in the middle of these corners. It is very, very difficult to be able to get yourself rolling with a good run. You can take a look on board Zane Bailey here as we work through turn numbers 1 and 2. Look at how little the sight line is coming out of turns 1 and 2 here. It's the same way in turns 3 and 4, and this is when you're on the high side, when you have a little bit more of that room to work with. There's almost no time to react if you get caught up with a big wreck, and that is, of course, counting the fact that you're also racing at well over 100 miles an hour. So there's going to be a lot to play for with these drivers and a lot of work that they're going to have to do to make sure we get as many of these trucks towards that checkered flag as possible. One quick repair is currently in the field for this race tonight, and that is, of course, no surprise. We expected these drivers to get that one fast repair because it is Bristol. Remember, you get fast repairs at the Super Speedway, so that is Daytona and Talladega, and I believe Atlanta, and then you get one as well at Martinsville and at Bristol as well. All of that will put us effectively ready to go. The field in turns 1 and 2 as we look set to try and kick things off. Once again, very, very excited to see how racing action is going to kick off from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Expecting for an early race caution. We'll find out here in just a moment. The pace truck turns down and into pit road. We're happy that you're joining us here on this beautiful Saturday night as we go racing at the last great Coliseum. And there it is, trouble already, one truck going around. That's John Hall. We got a lot of pileups over coming out of turn numbers 3 and 4. The big one on the front straightaway early on. Did not take long for us to get caution number 1. And what a shame as Slago still spinning it around. Scott Rankin is your leader, and that all kicked off in turn numbers 3 and 4. You'll take a look as we will slow this thing down, and not the way we were hoping to start this race, but perhaps the predictable way to start this race. John Bowaldo Jr., John Bowaldo Jr. got tipped by Jim Duda, spun his car around, slid down right into Mike Bagwell. Bagwell then spun up and absolutely clobbered a few of these trucks. You see Dale Rapp gets punted, and then there's Slago takes a hard shot. The 5 and the 28 get involved. The 82 flies in, nowhere to go. The 71 does a phenomenal job there to lock it down. That could have been so much worse for this entire field. And Mike Campbell can thank his lucky stars. That should have been a monster of a hit. And John Bowaldo Jr., I think, got a pretty bad piece of that as well. As, man, not pleasant at all for the course of this field. We'll take a ride on board with John Bawalda Jr. here, and then we'll get one more look with the 71 that came flying in as well. This is on board with Bawalda, just nowhere to go. And then with Campbell, it's going to be coming up on the high side of turns 3 and 4. See the smoke, and then there's the wreck, and just slocks it down. Good job to get that thing stopped. May have made some minor contact to the back bumper of the 13 machine of Mike Bagwell, but otherwise managed to escape that relatively unharmed. So we're going to get set to go racing here with lap 5 of 250, and I think that kind of sets the stage for how the rest of this race could pan out tonight with a very early crash. And a multi-truck pileup on the front straightaway, but all 27 trucks still in the running, all of them still on the lead lap. We'll reset for take 2 as the field works in a turn. Numbers 3 and 4, green flags out, and we're racing. The Adminboxx 250 gets back underway as Scott Rankin tries to fend off Charlie Burst at the top shelf. He's going to do it. Scott Rankin will lead the first lap back to green. As Birch trying to close at the back bumper of Rankin as he worked into turns 3 and 4. Rankin takes the first full lap to green at pace. Behind, multiple trucks starting to go side by side, but a good chunk of the field as well are single filing it out relatively early here. Not seeing too much in the way of side-by-side battles. You see Brad Slagle picking off Dale Rath. That was for 17th. While further behind, Swafford tries to fight around the outside of Levon Van Leer to make a run for the number 19 position. Rincon and Slagle going at it, and just up the road of them, you got another fight with Gruber and Ricketts. Caution is out. Campbell, the driver that managed to avoid caution number 1, will bring out caution number 2. And the 71 will just avoid losing a lap as Scott Rankin does him mercy and locks it down off of 4 to keep that 71 truck on the lead lap. And not a pleasant sight for Campbell to see. We'll take a look. This is going to be at speed, and oh, looking like Walda maybe got into the wall and spun the 71 truck around. We'll slow it down and give you a chance to really digest this here. Watch Bawalda up the road in the Team IEL number 5. Oh, that splitter. It hit the ground, and he went in straight. And then got tagged as well, and that spun the 71 truck around. Let's ride on board with Bawalda. Listen in. You heard the revs die down there as he tried to slow it down, and it just wasn't enough. Approaching turn 3. And well, don't think we're gonna quite get the look that we were hoping to off the static cameras. We'll try to get a little bit of a better look here. Again, watch the 5 up the road here. See that splitter? It's dragging on the ground, and that's what sends him in straight. And the 71 just not able to check up in time, and that spins Mike Campbell around. And looking like he may be the first truck that could be out of this race as he is in pit. Oh, I stand corrected. He's going to make his way back out on the racetrack, but he has lost a lap. And Anthony Lane in the 82 machine is also on the racetrack. He has also gone down a lap after being in pit road for service. And there you see the caution from race control, lap 9, net code was deemed the cause of the incident. No penalties will be doled out for this incident. There were no no penalties, I believe, doled out for the last incident either on lap number 1. Pace truck is off. Into the restart zone. Green flags back in the air. Charlie Birch and Scott Rankin hopping to it. Running down into turn numbers 3 and 4. Birch to the inside. Can he secure the lead? No, he can't. Scott Rankin driving back around the top, trying to battle it out for the race lead. Oh, contact, and look out. Gudger going around. The caution came out, but Gudger spins after the yellow flag was out. And he is going to be tagged around, and he's not the only one, as Jordan Jung got tipped as well. What in the world? Brad Slagle got tipped. We've had multiple crashes on lap 15. Take a look back first at Brad Slagle. This is what actually brought the yellow flag out. He's up the inside of Rincon here into turn 3. Gets in deep, but breaks loose. Tags the 28 hard into the outside wall. Collected Allen at the 60 as well. And then further down the line, Michael Gudger with this moment coming down the front straightaway here. The leaders got tight, and then so did the 33. You see the 33 truck break sideways on the top, and that's what turned Gudger up into the wall. That slid Gudger around, and then I believe that was Jordan Jung that got into him. Sorry, no, that was Rincon, and then Jung. Where is Jung at? There's the 33 truck. We'll back this up again. Coming through turn 4. Jung just comes off the wall, got loose, tagged to 64. Aaron Raymond with a very lucky escape there. And I think Jung's going to get tagged here by, I think that might be John Holiday. And then the 9 gets into him as well. What a ride. And then this is with Aaron Raymond on board with the number 6. That is a lucky escape right there for the driver of the number 6 truck. That could have been absolutely disastrous. We'll try to get a better look at what happened to Brad Slagle, because that was a very violent impact as well that the 052 truck took, and he just got loose, checking up for Jeff Gilmore coming into turn 3, and then hooked hard into Rincon, and that is a violent hit into the fence. Right on board with Slagle. In fact, let's ride aboard with Rincon. It was just a passenger. He's minding his business, and all of a sudden, wham! And both trucks get sent hard into the outside wall. Pace truck going to lead your pack through turns 3 and 4. Charlie Birch, the race leader, opting for the outside line for the restart. To the restart zone, green flag is out. Raymond jumping to it. Immediately shoots to the inside as Rankin didn't get going, and Raymond takes the race lead early. Aaron Raymond absolutely got the drop on the 81. He'll take the race lead. Behind, looking to be a three-way battle. Almost contact, and around goes Duda. Duda hard into the inside wall. And he might bring out a caution. No, he won't. Duda keeps the yellow flag out of the flagman's hands. Well, the battle for the lead intensifies. Raymond, Birch, Rankin all under a blanket. But a big crash for Jim Duda. Take a look. As they went 3 wide, I think the 13 to John Holiday just got into him and drifted him down and nosed that truck hard into the inside wall. Somehow no yellow flag for that. Well, we'll get it now, as Brad Slagle has once again been turned back of the field. We'll take a look as Slagle already with that suspension damage, and it looks like he lost this all by himself. And oh, that's going to be a long, lazy spin. Loop steel 52, but otherwise, no harm, no foul. Caution flag is out for the 4th time in just 27 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be back in a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Adminboxx 250 as Aaron Raymond gets set to take us back to the green flag after absolutely leapfrogging Charlie Birch on the last restart. The pace truck is off. And we'll once more get this race underway. Raymond to the point. Charlie Birch trying to pick up second, but Scott Rankin not going to let him have it easy. Battles to him. Birch, oh, he scrapes the wall. As the 49 machine trying to see if he can just hang on right now. Scott Rankin, oh, we got trouble. Turn 3, sorry. Multiple trucks around, and it's the big one, part 2. At least 5 involved. And truck still spun sideways. Slagle, Jung, Pyler, Amaro, Campbell, all involved. Most of them drivers that have already been caught up in incidents earlier in this race. Take a look. This is working through turns 1 and 2. We're watching Greg Pyler here. The truck on the outside. Has he gotten it? Oh, no, up the road. Jeff Gilmore got tipped by the 33 of Jung. Dale Rapp made hard contact and nowhere for Pyler to go. And then watch behind as just drivers piling in with nowhere to go. Take a ride on board with the 90. Man, he tried his darndest to lock that thing down. It just wasn't happening. And then this was Brad Slagle and more that all got involved. There you saw Jim Duda skating around the outside of that. Tough break for quite a few drivers, as not the way we were hoping to have this race go, but I mean, you take another look and man, just what do you do? Where do you go? You can't go anywhere. As the field works that back stretch and into turns 3 and 4, there you see the hit, and then watch everyone come flying in with nowhere to go, just running over each other, trying to avoid the massacre. And I think the 33 tried to tuck in line behind Gilmore, and it just didn't work. Yet another multi-truck pileup. Puts us under caution number 5. Raymond, Birch, Rankin, Gudger, Witt, and Bagwell make up the top 3 rows, as we will take 1 to go. Pace truck will be off this time by, and we will once again look set to try and get racing action underway. Jordan Jung still to the pits. Green flags back out. Raymond again taken off. It's Birch, Rankin, and Gudger. Oh boy, Raymond almost got hooked into the outside wall, tried to clear himself across the 64. He'll tuck in line for the number 3 spot. A little further behind. This is the Hornet's Nest. This is the likely spot where a caution could fly. See Greg Pyler trying to fight the outside of Jordan Vicknair. Behind Golker, Bawalda, and Moore. All tucked up line of stern. Bawalda clips the wall. Caution is out. Number 6 and Robert Amaro, back of the pack, has bent it hard into the wall. And might lose a lap there to Aaron Raymond. Taking a look. Is Dale Rapp just got a run off of turn 4 and hooked Amaro on the front stretch and turned that 77 car pretty heftily into the outside wall. That's just a classic Bristol moment. You get a run off the top side, and I mean, what are you going to do? You don't have anywhere to take it except forward. Right on board with Rapp. Yeah, I don't think there was too much he could do there, but we'll see what race control thinks. We're racking them up pretty early here. 6 cautions, and we're not even a fifth of the way through. This is that speed from pit road. The pace truck quickly makes its way back out onto the racetrack. Deemed no penalty. Racing incident, according to race control, as we've been waiting on the word for that to ticker in. So we'll get back to green flag racing for lap 47. Raymond and Birch. We'll take it back to the green flag. Once again, Raymond on the loud pedal early on. Charlie Birch looking to poke in line for second here. Battles on for third. Gudgeon to the outside of Rankin. And the LSU 64 drives it in deep contact front straightaway. Around goes Paul Witt into the inside wall. No caution yet. And caution is out. Surprised that didn't come out sooner, but yellow flag will fly. And that is yellow number 7. The former 4th place runner goes around, and big trouble for Paul Witt's race, as he was side by side with the 13 of Bagwell, fighting for 5th. And same as always, Bagwell comes off the wall that little bit and noses it into the 429. Gudger is into pit road on this latest run of pit stops. He's one of the only trucks to make that call. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching us live on Green Flag TV for the Adminboxx 250.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Coming back to one lap to go before we get set to duke it out once again at the Adminboxx 250. Working lap number 53, Aaron Raymond has been unbeatable so far on the restarts as race control has deemed it no penalty for Paul Witt with that single truck spin. It was deemed a self-spin, interesting enough. I thought the 13 came off of the wall, but evidently saw something different. So see, perhaps we can finally get this green flag runner that we've been hoping for. But just under 200 laps to go. As the pace truck is in, green flag's out, we're back underway. And once again, getting clear by the time they hit turn one. Scott Rankin making that lunge for a second, gonna get to the inside of Charlie Birch. Pushes him up to 2, and then Birch back down to the inside, trying to take him back on to the bottom, and Scott Rankin pulls clear. He'll pick up the number 2 spot. The Australian now is trying to run down Aaron Raymond up the road. Back behind, the battle for 9th. Landon Swafford, caution is out. And it is for unclear, but Gudger's just been taken out after the yellow flag. And possibly Mike Campbell, question mark? We'll see in a moment, but first, Gudger. Oh, Gudger got turned for the second incident as well, so. Right, okay, so Gudger was the cause of the caution flag as well. And you watch here is the 77. I mean, Gudger just turns in on him entering turn 3, and around he goes. So the LSU Silverado will spin around. We'll take a look at, man, I mean, that's, it looked to me like the 33 just stuffed it in there. And then, of course, that's just a messy incident all around. But we'll jump back a little bit more, try to get a ride on board with that 33 machine and see what was going on behind the wheel. That was Jordan Jung that turned him. See him catching Jim Duda, looks to the inside and dives to the inside, and that's Gudger checked up big time. Makes you wonder. There's always a lot going on inside these trucks that we don't know about, and one driver that would know that more than most would be, in fact, Scott Rankin, the current points leader, running in the number 2 spot. We'll see if we can get a chat here with Scott. Scott, this is Neil Ramplayer on the broadcast, but you got a copy?
Yeah, man. What's going on? It's been a wild race thus far, hasn't it?
That's putting it mildly. Very stop-start, not something that TNGG is all that used to. What's been the general mood out there on the racetrack?
It's a difficult package to really drive. So because of the differences in the fuel, what actually happens is it lowers the front splitter a whole bunch. What's going on for a lot of these trucks is as soon as you touch the brake, it actually slams the splitter into the floor. So the better way to actually get pace out of the car is actually not to touch the brake, which is very unusual for Bristol. So there's a lot going on. Part of that is it'll make the truck push a little bit on entry. Part of it is it'll make the rears skip around a little bit on entry, which is just, if you get an imbalanced truck very, very quickly, the rear end's just coming around. It's a difficult package to ride, and it's something that's quite specific to running a lower fuel at Bristol, really.
Of course, usually these races are not 100% length, but this is a 100% truck length, exactly the length that they run in the real world as well. Real quick here, I think we're getting ready to go back green here in just a moment, but how's the pit strategy going to be looking throughout the course of the night?
One of the big things is you can't let yourself get in behind where all the garbage is going on. It's very difficult to make overtakes. It's very difficult to keep yourself clean. So right now, primarily the focus is stay up front, look after things. I've done a really, really good job looking after the tires. I'm very happy with that. I've got a really balanced truck in terms of everything going on. Yeah, we're in a good spot. We're going to have to take sometime the next 20 laps. We're going to have to pit. I cannot run this fuel tank out. We have to pit under caution. So strategy starts to change.
Right, we'll let you get back to work. Good luck out there on this restart.
Thanks, brother. Been a good night, and let's get this 49 truck in the lead.
Scott Rankin currently starts outside on road number 1 as he'll lead us into the restart zone once again. Green flag back in the air. Raymond hops to it, trying to pull clear with that lead down to the turn 1, pardon me. Charlie Birch as well, and oh boy, big lunge there from Rankin. Trying to go up and around. Rankin shuts the door, and Charlie Birch slams into the side of Rankin. And somehow Raymond keeps that truck rolling. But my goodness. Absolutely tremendous drive, and you look again back to the Hornet's Nest where everybody's worried about where the yellow flag might come out. Vicknair, Pillar, Gordon, Gilmore, and Moore all under a blanket for about 11th on back. Oh boy, the 12 getting super crossed up coming around turn 2. Still driving to the front straightaway, though, and still looking strong. Not seeing too much in the way of big problems. As Vicknair hanging on for the inside. Greg Pillar working up top. And can Pilar pull clear for 12th? He can. Jumps down to the inside. And now immediately goes on the offensive against Thomas Lane Jr. So Thomas Lane Jr. starting to slip back. Vicknair jumps to the bottom, and Tom Goker will not be able to attack Vicknair before having to get around Lane first. You heard Raymond say that within about 20 laps or so, these guys will be coming down to pit road. That's not a very long way away, so when are we going to see these trucks making those runs in the pit road? Looking back on Gilmore, Holiday, and Swafford. Fighting for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Longest green flag run of the night. Behind Levan Van Leer and Bawalda exchanging hands. Oh, and around goes Bawalda. Hard into the outside wall. Slides into turn number 3. And Van Leer stuck on the bottom as well. Van Leer is destroyed. And that could be when we see some drivers come down to pit road for the first time. It falls apart for John Bawalda Jr. Take a look as he was trying to attack Leban Van Leer down in the turns 1 and 2. Van Leer pinched him in, and Bawalda had to go up at some point, and they just made contact and right rear hook hard into the wall, and then Van Leer got tagged by Slagle and then drilled by Dale Rapp. Hard hits there all around with the number 60 truck. You're right on board with him. A lot of trucks into pit road. We expected this, of course, as for the most part, it looks like tires and fuel has been the call. Top 5 have stayed out. Paul Witt, Michael Gudger, Brad Slago, Jim Duda, and now Mike Campbell have all stayed out on the racetrack. I believe Campbell got the lucky dog and will be fading to the back. Paul Witt now leads the way, although he is on 20-lap old tires for the rest of the field. No penalty for this latest incident. Deemed there was too much netcode involved. So we will get set to restart this race for lap 77. Pace truck's off. Paul Witt picked the outside for the restart. Gudger trying to battle to the inside, and Gudger making short work of Witt. Will pick off the spot. Scott Rankin on fresh tires trying to find a way around Jim Duda and Brad Slagle. One on the wall. 72 Cody Ricketts slowing. Keeps it off the field. No yellow. Oh, well, we're going to get it here. Huge crash. Rankin around, Slagle around, more piling in. The big one, part 3. And yellow flag. Number 10. That got messy as Slagle will back it up all the way to the front stretch. And we'll take a look, see what happened. Three wide, not gonna stick. Aaron Raymond caused that one, I think, as Rankin and Slagle, then, oh, that's a hard hit right there. And then here comes the 40, nowhere to go. Then Vic Nair gets turned by Piler. And it is just on. Right on board with Aaron Raymond. I don't know, actually, from that one. I might be wrong. Let's take another look at speed here. There's Aaron Raymond side by side, and well, I mean, Slagle kind of left the hole open, too, if I'm being honest, so I don't know. There's arguments there for both. Those are both a couple of hard licks, and then, man, like 80 got in there as well. Charlie Birch had a heck of an avoidance, though, ducking around this mess. oh boy. Well, he did get involved, but as always, it could have been a lot worse. Feel bad for the 40 of Zachary Gruber who got involved in that mess. Just had nothing to do with that. Gosh, that is a hard lick. Couple of nasty ones of that one, and then while all that was going on, the 72 truck of Cody Ricketts had this moment, and whoa, just snapped way loose and slammed into the wall. But again, good job to keep that out of the field. And Aaron Raymond has been given an end of the longest line penalty for causing that caution after he put it 3 wide. Gutcher will be leading the way. He has opted for the inside line for the restart. Apologies for that little quick audio blip there. Green flag back in the air. As we hightail it back to turns 1 and 2. Gutcher again breaking clear early on. Paul Witt and Charlie Birch trying to get a run. Birch clears Witt for second. Clears up in front. Bobbles that back end out a bit. But no further issues. But here is the gaggle. And we are always keeping a very close eye on. A lot of side-by-side racing deep in the mid-pack. You're looking at 10th and 11th, side-by-side with LeBron Van Leer and Jordan McNair. They're going to get clear, and then here comes Cody Ricketts, who slammed the wall earlier on, and holy cow, nearly did it again off of turn 4. Struggling to catch McNair and Bagwell up the road. Final looks at the inside, and there's Scott Rankin trying to charge his way back through. These midfield battles are always one to watch, and now you got Scott Rankin trying to fight his way back into the ring. Caution is out, and that'll neutralize things as Amaro will bring out caution number 11. And he'll lose a lap. The 77, as I think, got Brad Slagle right behind him. They were close. No, that's the 82 of Anthony Lane, sorry. As, oh, there's smoke up the road, and whoa. Oh, Slagle got loose. Amaro checked up and got run over by Lane. That is unfortunate. Take another look back as, and Slagle got turned as well. Right back in this way up. This is the lap leading up to this wreck. I think Aaron Raymond bumped Slagle up wide, and then getting down to the turns 3 and 4, Slagle got loose, and 26 looked like he hooked him, and then checking up, and Amaro gets hooked or spun around. Yellow number 11 at lap 92. We have still yet to hit triple digits on the lap counter. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching us live on Green Flag TV. Welcome back to Green Flag TV. We are getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing. Michael Gutcher and Charlie Birch are your two race leaders. As they look set to gun it, coming out of turn number 4. Green Flag back in the air. Charlie Birch trying to attack, though, for the race lead down to the inside at turns 3 and 4. Birch and Gutcher duking it out. Oh, so close between them. That's Charlie Birch lunging around the inside. Is it going to be enough, though, to try to take this lead away through 3 and 4? Gutcher off the top. Birch bobbles from the bottom and slides up. Gutcher hanging on still up to the outside wall. Can he just keep that truck stable underneath him? Oh, so close. Oh, around goes Birch. Slides down. Nearly slams the inside wall. He'll get himself sorted, but fall to second, and Gutcher maintains the lead. Looking back to Raymond, forcing Victor up and cutting off the 71 of Campbell in the process. Raymond not making friends. He jumps around John Holiday. We take over to lap 100. Oh, and around, one truck in the wall. Trying to hang on. I think we managed to say, no, we didn't. We got them around in turn 2. Amaro locks it down. Slagle, Rincon, Rapp all involved. Another multi-truck incident to stem our next yellow flag of this race. This is all in the approach, and we'll jump back here a little bit. Watch Campbell here. Comes off the wall, gets in a Paul Witt, slams back into the wall. And then that checks up the entire field behind. And then Dale Rapp runs over Rincon. Completely separate incident, spins him around, nowhere for Slagle to go. And the 82 gets involved. And here comes John Buwalda Jr. with, oh boy, almost nowhere to go. And Amaro, phenomenal job again at locking it down. All of these trucks have been involved in incidents before at speed. Just that little tip is all it takes. As, yikes. That is not what you want to be seeing. From the wall. And you see the tip from Rincon, and around they go. Oh boy. I want to ride on board here with Robert Amaro. I cannot stress enough how little sight you have. Doesn't even seem to get turned around. Caution comes out there. And that is a phenomenal job to lock it down. Beautiful driving. This will be the final race in the month of March here on Green Flag TV. We will roll into April, and we kick it off as Dale Rapp would get an end of the longest line penalty. That was his first at-fault contact, so deemed he was the driver responsible for that incident. But on April Fool's Day, we kick it off with a high-tide race, the Gamma Racing Designs Cup Series for race number 4 down at the Phoenix Raceway. That is the Legacy Phoenix Raceway, the old 2008 scam. That'll be at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The day after, Atlanta Motor Speedway will host the Ole Miss World Truck Series for their final race of the regular series season, race number 11. And then on April 3rd, the Beer League gets set to wind down the championship with their penultimate race. So far, the top 3 in the championship on the Wednesday night series have never been separated by more than about 15 points. So it is bound to be an exciting drive all the way through. We are at a dozen cautions, and we are 107 laps through, just over 15 away from the halfway mark. As we'll get set to go back to green flag racing, this time by Vic Nair low on the racetrack. We get back to green. That start will stand. Charlie Birch with a monumental gap on the field. Oh, scrap for second. Ricketts and Bailey gunning forward into turn 1. Gonna get clear. Aaron Raymond to the inside of Jeff Gilmore, to the inside of Bailey. Raymond on a charge. Trying to get back to the point. There he goes. Raymond looking to the inside of Cody Ricketts. Going to try to pick off the 72 car. And can he get clear? Not yet. Ricketts putting up a fight. Raymond going to have to take this one the hard way. All this is allowing for Charlie Birch to get further and further out in front. But finally, Aaron Raymond clears up to the top. Checking back in on 7th place right now. Side by side, and the Bon Van Leer down low. Brad Slagle spins, and the yellow is out. As the 052 is around. Oh, there's another truck sideways there. That is the 33 of Jordan Jung. That is around as well. What happened here? So Jung and Slagle are racing together here. Now Jung is several laps down. He is not fighting Slagle for position. Well, Slagle got loose, and is he overcorrected here? Oh yes. Nails the 33, and that is a hard hit into the wall. Man, the 71 car just barely avoids disaster. Take a look at speed. Yes, oh, there's another truck that was spinning around. And that was Anthony Lane. So several drivers having problems. First, this is what happened to Mike Campbell. As, oh, down low, down low. Oh boy. Now what happened to Lane? Anthony Lane of the 82 truck has he just lost control? Again, he's all by himself. So he would have lost that all by himself. Oh, Dale Rapp also lost control. These trucks are just balancing on a knife edge. There's no telling what they're going to do. It looks like they're almost as unpredictable. Well, as unpredictable as I am, practically. Once again, Slagle given the end of the longest line penalty. And a drive-through. Deemed at fault for that incident. That makes sense to me. He lost control, spun it out. Mistakes starting to mount for the 052. Try to Birch, stacking the field up here a good bit. As what is going on here? There's a huge gap in the trucks. I mean, what is going on? Some strange moments and some cheeky games being played under caution, I think. Well, we'll get set to rack 'em, stack 'em, and do it all over again. As the pace truck is off, and the green flag is back out. Aaron Raymond trying to power for the race lead. Looking to get around the outside, and he is clear. Raymond is back to the point. We'll check back in on Rankin's progress as he tries to get around Mike Bagwell. Down the inside at turn 3. Bagwell still ripping the top. Paul Witt just up the road as well in 5th. Can we make it to halfway before we get to caution number 14? Rankin tucks back in line as he finally loses the battle to Paul Witt after getting around Mike Bagwell. Good solid effort though, as we'll keep on the up and up. Once again, Victor and Golker find themselves embroiled in side-by-side conflict as they're trying to keep Tom Golker and Jeff Gilmore behind. And a little further ways off of them, I think. Yes, that is the 40 of Zachary Groover. That is in the mix as well. It's right now the only side-by-side battle on the racetrack. Ryan McRoberts trying to get around the top of Gilmore. Troubledale wrap. Slow. Front straightaway. He'll lose a lap. We will not get a caution. Find out what happened. Has just lost that all by himself. Slams hard into the inside wall. And then while that was all going on, then I think the 82 machine really slow, trying to get back out onto the racetrack, and he's going to take that truck. I'll finally get to back up to speed. Not sure what was going on for Anthony Lane. Cody Ricketts still getting around Charlie Birch for a second. While Scott Rankin continues his charge, he'll finally break around Zane Bailey. Trying to pressure to get back to a podium. Here is Noah Swafford, Ryan McRoberts, Michael Gudger, and more. McRoberts and Swafford battling for 13th. Ricketts and Rankin are still double file for the, well, yeah, double file for the second position. Got double and single file confused somehow. Oh, into the outside wall behind for Charlie Birch. That was a hard slap into the wall, and I wonder, has that damaged that number 81 truck? That for sure would have affected the handling. But I don't think it is too bad right now. It looks like it may very well be just fine. Behind John Holiday and Mike Bagwell go side by side. And they will exchange hands for 8. And up the road, Rankin, Ricketts, and now Witt trying to get his hat into the ring. Rankin makes the drive for second as third on around, try to make a lunge, and for the time being, Cody Ricketts is going to keep it up there with Paul Witt, and got same bit. Oh, trouble, look out, Ricketts into the wall, hooked by the 429. No caution will keep it green. Cody Ricketts slides to 5th. And we'll check back. Holy cow, double file. This is not going to end well. I'm calling this right now. This looks like we're coming back to green. Look at the madhouse on the front straightaway. There's nowhere to go. The 8th place on back. They've checked up the entire pack. Charlie Birch, Greg Pyler, Jim Duda, and more. 3 wide, around they go. This is going to be a big crash down to the turn number 1. 5, 6, 7 involved. McRoberts loses it. And our longest gray flag run comes to a big crashing end on lap 143. Huge hits all around. And we'll take a look. Boy, you could see that coming a mile off. Watch Mike Bagwell here as got a bit tight. They went 3 wide. Charlie Birch, and then Birch went into the wall. Jim Duda, Greg Pyler got involved. Groover got turned. Gudger hit the wall. Gilmore, McRoberts. Gulker spun it. Man. And that's going to take a good chunk of this field into pit road. And service will kick off in the second half of this race. Going to get another look back at speed of that wreck as, my goodness. I mean, oh, and then, wow, Anthony Lane lost it big time as well. As we try to find where Mike Bagwell is. There he is, getting loose, and then slams hard into the inside wall. And you talk about the melee that followed. Holy cow. You see the wreck from the grandstand camera on the front straightaway as everyone just piles in, and they were wrecking all the way into turns 1 and 2 as well, as you get another look from the Goodyear blimp. It's just too much crowding, and that's got to be one of the biggest wrecks of the night so far for sure. Whew. Well, yellow flag is out. We'll take a quick jump back, and we'll be back in a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends.
Aaron Raymond gets set to take us back to the green flag as the pace truck is off. A quicker caution than anticipated. Green flag is back in the air. And as we get set to go back to green flag racing, I want to welcome Brad Slagle into the broadcast booth. He has kindly volunteered, since he is out of the race, to give a bit of a helping hand over the course of the rest of the evening, as he got Greg Plyler firing around the top side of Zane Bailey for third. All the while, Paul Witt tries to hunt down the inside, and then Plyler looking up to the top shelf. You got Cody Ricketts that's going to file through as well. A lot of trucks right now on old tires. Battles on as well, Brad, for the lead as Rankin to the inside of Raymond.
Yeah, it's rough out there. You get out there on old tires, it's slick. Truck wants to push up. Battling makes it even worse. If you're on the inside, you can't get a drive off out there. It just pushes really hard. You're trying to hold it down, and he just leads it back in.
Scott was talking earlier as well about there's the problems on entry, about how the truck just plows straight with a splitter, bouncing off the ground. If you tag the brakes at all going into these corners, so it makes it a really difficult track to race on. We got less than 100 laps to go, and the action has never been too far away. Right now, the Hornet's Nest sits at about 11th on back. John Bowalda Jr., Ryan McRoberts, and more are all trying to get up into the fray. Mike Bagwell is in the mix as well here. And then Charlie Birch, seeing if he can't get a lunge in as well as, oh boy, they thought about three wide. Hasn't worked so far, though.
Yeah, that 3 wide, it gets pretty dangerous out there. It's you've seen the center trucks there. They get loose, they get squirrely trying to stay out of the trucks, inside and outside of them. It just causes mayhem either way.
Well, that mayhem has, I think, been a good way to sum up the race so far tonight as, whoa, Birch again, a big loose moment in the round. Birch spins it off the corner, and he'll collect Thomas Lane Jr. as well. Yellow number 15. As now we'll reset, we'll do it again. Scott Rankin, your race leader. We'll take a look at the replay as Birch and Lane came together, and I think that one was just a result of the 81 truck getting loose.
Yeah, it looks like he got loose there, came down a little bit and tapped that apron, and then just couldn't collect the truck back again and just went around. Once they're loose here, the tires are hot. It's hard to grab it. It's hard for your truck to regain traction and for you to put the throttle down.
It's a very easy mistake to make as well. It's one of the easiest mistakes, I think, to make in a track like this. I mean, you just tap that apron and you're done. You're gone. It's a shame to see that happen to two drivers that have already been caught up in so much tonight. Riding on board with Thomas Lane Jr. You saw Birch was already breaking sideways and was chasing the truck all the way through that corner, and obviously that caused him to stack up, and Lane just had nowhere to go but into the rear end of the 81, and that puts under another yellow flag as Scott Rankin took the race lead throughout all of that, as I believe Aaron Raymond just came into pit road on this last caution. You were obviously on the track way more than I was, Brad. Pit strategy, we heard Scott touch on it a little bit. We've seen most drivers make at least 2 stops tonight. Where will we be seeing guys come down for their final stops?
It just depends on if they have extra sets of tires, how many tires they have left and haven't used yet. There's gonna be a lot more cautious still. I mean, we're what 60 laps out? Is that math right? 70 laps
90,
out?
90 laps.
90 laps. Oh wow. Yeah. So there's probably at least one more pit stop, maybe even two, if they have the extra tires. Just try to get the better runs there later on in the race.
Well, and that could be a big if too, because a lot of these drivers that I see that have 3 stops on the record, they've already been given. They've already taken 2 sets of tires at least, as I believe was that sending Charlie Birch, was that sending Thomas Lane Jr. to the rear of the field there for that incident?
81, Charlie Birch.
Okay, that's what I thought. I read Thomas Lane at first, and I was gonna say, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. The guy got loose, but
right.
Yeah, Charlie Birch fading to the rear. He will get that end of the longest line penalty for this race.
And with this truck there, you notice he dove in from the high to the low there, entering that turn. And as Scott mentioned earlier, he tapped the brakes, and it just loses the back end. It's kind of what it looked like there. But we're going to green, so I'll let you take over.
Scott Rankin, Paul Witt, Cody Ricketts, Michael Gudger, Jim Duda, Zane Bailey, the top 3 rows. Right now, all of them are on the same tires as well. The first driver that is on old-ish rubber is, in fact, well, pretty much the entire field. I haven't seen anybody so far. Well, Tom Golker, I think, on fresh tires from 3 laps to go. So we'll see how this pans out as the pace truck is off. Restart zone, green flag. We'll try it again. Scott Rankin trying to hang on as he lunges down into turns 1 and 2. He's clear for the lead, and Ricketts trying to battle back to Paul Witt down low as they make that charge up through 3 and 4. Banks on for second.
Yeah, a little side-by-side action up front there. A little blink from the 64 Gudger there. A lot of action with side-by-side, mid-pack towards the rear.
It's always the mid-pack where it gets chaotic, and it's usually the mid-pack where it all goes wrong. Looking for 3 wide. Raymond to the inside. Is that going to work? It's not. Rincon to the outside wall. Campbell around. Bagwell around. Stacking them up in turn numbers 1 and 2. And the big one, part 5 million, it feels like at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
As the field wads it up in turn 2.
It just watching it there, seeing all the trucks side by side, it looked like they're knowing this track and how it's racing tonight. That's exactly what I've seen happen. Somebody's gonna be making the move. They're gonna be they're gonna lose their patience. They're antsy, trying to get out of that mid pack, and mistakes will be made.
I don't even think Raymond really pushed Rincon up. That's just the case, like you said, about Rincon just trying to escape the pack, and the 40 barely got I think McRoberts actually managed to get around that as quite a few trucks getting involved. We'll take a look at from a bit of a wider shot to get a broader scope of this incident. And yeah, I mean, I know Raymond put it 3 wide, but Rincon pushed up on Campbell there.
Yeah, I don't think 28 got pushed up by the 6. It looks like the 28 moved up to give the 6 room.
Yeah.
And just didn't realize how close was that Campbell on the outside he got into?
That is Bawalda. No, sorry, you're right, it is Campbell.
Yeah, it's just trying to avoid it and save themselves, and just 3 wide does not work at Bristol. I don't care how many times you try it.
That's a lesson that seems to have fallen on many deaf ears throughout the course of this race.
There's a reason I'm in this booth with you right now.
On board with Nick Roberts here as
oh, that's Days of Thunder right there.
Yeah.
Drive through the smoke.
Threatened the needle, and then Thomas Lane Jr. escaping around the bottom. Just got involved in the last caution and manages to avoid the second. Hard on the brakes, and only one way to go. I think that back end of that truck kicked around him as well, and that inadvertently helped him to escape that wreck.
Yeah, it pointed that nose down, but the fact that he kept it straight, really with that, I'm actually amazed by it because, like I said, you tap these brakes, that splitter hits that track, and it just goes around.
The restarts have been interesting tonight from you, because usually I'm really used to seeing the inside line not even really being a good line to use on the restarts here. No matter what you run in, usually the outside is able to get a pretty good jump on you if they can rip the high side of 1 and 2. But that seems to have been the opposite case here at Bristol today. Has there been a change in the track surface that may have impacted that?
Well, I wish I could give you some insight on this, but I was in every wreck for the first half of the race, so
I know.
I don't know. I don't know how it was up there. Looks like the Rincon or 28 is getting the EOL for that, for pushing up to the outside truck.
Mm-hmm. It's very easy to blame the truck that puts these guys 3 wide, and I know that's what everybody constantly wants to do, but I mean, as aggressive as Raymond's been all day long, I'll give him credit for this one. He left him room. I mean, Raymond was hugging that apron down to the inside of the racetrack all before, and he couldn't go much lower. So there was room to make that work.
Yeah, Aaron even coming out of that, he turned harder to the left. If you watch it back, his back end kicked out to the right. He turned down farther to keep him clear.
80 laps to go. Scott Rankin will take us back into the Geico restart zone. We'll try again. And Paul Witt this time with a big launch off the top shelf. Scott Rankin going to immediately drive back to the bottom and blitzes by and clear by the time they get off of turn 2.
He's just got those restarts. He's got them set. He's got them dialed in. He knows how the truck's driving. Knows what he needs to do.
Scott Rankin's long proven that he can definitely be a title contender, and he intends on being a title contender. Of course, enters this race with the points lead, so curious on what the Wanted Goons machine is going to be able to put together over the course of the season. I know Christopher Howell, of course, backing out of competition over the last couple weeks or so. That's a big contender for the championship that Aaron Raymond no longer has to fight with, and looking like Scott Rankin wants to pick up the torch that Howell's leaving behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of moves going on right now. That's about all I can touch on it right now.
Jim Duda and Aaron Raymond looking to go side by side down in the turns 1 and 2. Raymond clears Duda pretty easily. Raymond's just found something on that inside line. I mean, whenever he gets to the inside of somebody, most trucks struggle and end up falling back. He's just been able to make it work, though.
He did pit 14 laps later than everybody else. Maybe he saved tires and took some then.
Well, he had a lot of cautions, though, since then, so I wouldn't think the tire difference is enough that it make that inside line a viable option, but I guess you never really know, as, well, we got a WL flag on the racetrack, and looking like Gudger, one of the main drivers of the Super Speedway Blitz, is involved in this one. Greg Pyler as well involved, and Gudger was already slow on the bottom. Letting by lead lap traffic. There goes Campbell on the outside.
I wonder if he's having connection issues and trying to get it to catch up.
Well, there's smoke up the road, so, oh no, Pyler lost it. And Gudger had nowhere to go, slammed into the 90, and oh boy.
Was that the 13 that just got by?
I think it was. Holy cow. And Pyler just lost that by himself. Watch Campbell firing out bottom of the shot. We'll try to get a look on board with him. Sorry, no, that was Mike Bagwell, that got into this. So on board with him. And
ooh, that's threading the needle if I've ever seen it.
You want to talk about Days of Thunder? I mean, I think that takes the cake. This is going to be on board with the helmet camera. Oh, my word. It does not get any closer than that.
No, if there were side view mirrors on it, they'd be gone. They'd be gone.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely they would be.
The 64 of Gudger is going to get some wave arounds. He has internet issues and is blinking out, so he went to let it catch up. And within our league, we
Look at this here. Watch that black and gold truck there. As
oh,
that's an
a
ankle
good shot.
That's an ankle breaker right there.
That's a good shot.
Great pilot to the end of the longest line for causing that incident. But you were saying?
Yeah, sorry. So the 64 should wave arounds in here to try to get some laps back. He had internet issues, and our league policy, if you slow down and try to get your internet to catch back up to stop your blinking, we will give you wave rounds the best we can to get you back on the lead lap.
Oh, really now? See, I've been doing this for over a year now, and I didn't know that. So, learning new things. So Gudger taking one such wave around there. That will put Gudger 6 down, I believe. Might be 5. I'm not sure if I'm mathing that out correctly. The lights have gone out, so I think he might be hooped where he's at. So he's several laps down, but, well, it's better than nothing.
Well, going to green again. Let's see how this start goes.
What do you think? Do we hit 25 yellows by the end of this race, or will we cap it at around 20 or before that? I'll find out as green flag's out. Paul Wade again with a good launch and getting pushed a bit by Aaron Raymond there, going down to the turns 1 and 2. And for the first time, looking like the outside's got the jump on the inside. Raymond hopping down low. And Aaron Raymond going to try to attack Paul Wade for the number 2 spot here as they fire down the front straightaway. Aaron Raymond pulling clear, but here goes Raymond to the inside. Battles on for the lead.
Out the restart, but looks like he's not going to have it for long. Aaron Raymond is going to be trying to take it from him on the inside.
Trying to take that thing down low as Rankin looking to get the lunge up and around as, oh boy, so close to coming together. They're coming off a turn, turns 3 and 4. And Aaron Raymond, can he get clear of Scott Rankin here coming around 1 and 2? Yes, he does. Raymond back to the point, and Scott Rankin now on the hunt. See if we can run him back down while behind. There's your usual battle pack with all the usual suspects. Duda, McRoberts, Bawalda, Campbell, and more. All under a constant blanket. Just unable to ever get away from each other. Bristol's one of those Dover-esque like tracks, right? You can run, but there's nowhere to hide.
Oh, definitely not. When there's any truck goes sideways here, it's just a roadblock, no matter where it's at. And it's hard to get checked out, bring it back. Coming around to it.
Still have not hit that lap 200 mark. We are about 11 laps away, though, as we continue to march our way steady on in towards the end of this race. You take a look at LeBon Van Leer. He's trying to fight it out with John Holiday on his inside. And Holiday keeping his truck firmly pinned to the bottom. The Star Spangled Tundra. Van Leer fighting to the top side and looking like the Castrol Edge machine has gotten through. So Holiday, Van Leer, Vicknair, and more all looking to want to try to get a move on here and make up some ground wherever they can muster it. Tell you what, though, I mean, Van Leer is not giving it easily here. And Vicknair trying to still battle to the inside. John Holiday working up top. Comes off the wall.
someone's going to end up running out of patience and either overdrive it or lose their spatial awareness.
Well, we almost got it there. There's a bit of a neck code hit. Gilmore going around, McNair going around. That's going to be the next yellow for sure. As McNair stopped sideways on the front straightaway. Well, no yellow yet. We can keep it down there and get it flick spin around. Oh, well, we might get it here, though. That truck's technically on the racing groove, and now the caution comes out. He'll lose a lap, and McNair, I think, brought that one out by reversing that back onto the racetrack instead of trying to flick spin it.
Look at how far ahead Aaron Raymond has got.
No kidding. It's not going to last, though. I mean, we still have another pit stop in us yet, assuming other drivers have tires still. That's a weird incident, right? There was clear netco contact that unsettled Gilmore. And I wonder if that unsettled McNair as well.
I wonder if it was netcode, or did he have to tap the brakes thinking the 12 was going to come down in front of him?
It looked too sudden to just be a tap of the brakes. Let's ride on board, though, here. Well, we'll try to get a better look at this one here. This is somewhere with McNair, of course. All right, this is with Bagwell. You might be right, actually.
He might have stabbed the brakes really fast, and then that splitter got down there.
It's a good save.
Yeah.
Scott Rankin and Moore all into pit road. As it's been Lear and Moore. First one out of pit road. Unsurprisingly, going to be Aaron Raymond, and everybody taking a fresh set of tires. So these should be the tires they're going to be working with to the end of this race now. John Buwalda Jr. comes in as well with Charlie Birch. And Jeff Gilmore, the truck that just spun, will stay out, although I wonder, well, he's showing as the race leader, so evidently he doesn't think his tires are too worn down.
He last pitted, looks like 19 laps ago.
For Gilmore, 179, about 20 laps ago. Yeah. Oh boy, it startled me as Gudger flies up and around the racetrack. You know what, Brad, you're obviously one of the TNGG administrators here. I'm actually curious here because I know obviously TNGG has a few longer races on the course of the season. Very rarely, though, do we ever see a league ever go for like a full 100% race. And this is the 100% length for the truck series here. What was the contributing factor that decided to make this race a 100% race, whereas the two races last season were 200 laps apiece?
I wish I had an answer for you.
You're not the schedule maker, I take it.
You are correct there with that. It is what it is. It's a long race. I mean, granted, our Bristol race last year wasn't horrible per se.
Well, the first one wasn't. The second one, it got up there.
Yeah.
We were about the same pace for last season's race as well in the fall.
Yeah, what was that, 22 cautions last race? Last fall or something like that?
I don't recall. It was definitely in the high teens. I can guarantee that much. I lost the Simmers Hub standings, though, from last season, though, so I wouldn't be able to confirm. Well, the lights have gone out. We've entered the final fifth of this race. It'll be 48 laps to go when we take the green flag. Still have 25 trucks in the running, 17 of which are on the lead lap. And almost no truck is clean. Gilmore's in the lead, but on old tires. Let's see how this goes. As the green flag drops and we're underway. Well, that didn't last long as Aaron Raymond immediately powers around the top. And nowhere for Paul Witt to go. He's stuck behind the Urban Tools machine, and Scott Rankin going to fire around the outside for second. Try to pick up another spot, and then Jeff Gilmore will fall off the podium as Paul Witt makes the run to third.
Yeah, the old tires up front are very dangerous here.
Especially on the inside line, too, right? That's the slower the two lines as it is. So this is a double whammy right now for Gilmore. He's gonna drop like a rock here. Castellage Machine drives around the outside. Jim Duda going to do the same as. Tell you what, I mean, Gilmore being down the inside is forcing this field to get itself single filed out a lot quicker than it normally would just to get around him. I think this has got to be one of the more orderly restarts we've seen so far all race long. Oh, I say that, and hard into the wall goes Cody Ricketts. That was a vicious hit. Holy cow.
Wow, that was hard. That was hard.
That might knock Ricketts out of the race. I think he'd already taken his fast repair, had he not?
I'm not sure. I don't have anything that says if he did or not. But if he did take a fast repair already, yeah, he's done. He's not coming back.
Oh, yeah. That was a huge hit into the wall. Big time.
I think he had all 4 tires off the ground there.
It wouldn't surprise me. Let's take a look back, entering turn 1. And this was all by himself, I think, as well. Yeah. John Holiday punted it back to the wall, and then boom. Well, the rear stayed on the ground, but the front's definitely lifted up. We'll get a ride on board with Ricketts here. This is going to be a wild ride. Oh, that is a huge lick.
I wonder if the 20 had his brown pants on, because he was right there behind that, I believe.
Oh, yeah, he was. There you saw Zane Bailey at speed. Oh, man. We're right on board with Zane Bailey here. Zane Bailey really locked that thing down. So on board. I did get in him a little bit, but it could have, it probably should have been a lot worse.
Yeah, he did a good job there, avoiding that for what it could have been, yes.
Well, 40 laps to go, and we are 1 yellow away from hitting number 20. We'll be back in a moment. About to return back to green flag racing as Aaron Raymond has picked up the race lead. Scott Rankin might be able to mount an offensive here. We'll see, because Jeff Gilmore, of course, no longer in the way. As the pace truck pulls down to pit road. We'll do it all over again. Green flag's up in the air as the field hightails it down to turn 1. Well, maybe not, as Raymond already out by about 3 truck lengths. Paul Witt slowing up Rankin in that battle for the number 2 spot as they rocket through the last Great Coliseum. Rankin's got clear, sits about 3.5 tenths of a second off of Aaron Raymond. We'll see if you try to run down that number 6, who has so far been by far the dominant truck of the day. Well, we got a big pile up, and that's half the field out of turn 4. That whole track is blocked. Someone should get on the radio, warn these guys, slow it down, because I mean, there's nowhere to go. This is a mess, and they see Raymond having to come to a full stop to let these guys get sorted. That was a nasty wreck, and
I was gonna mention the 2x2 from like 5th or 6th on back. Never got to it.
They beat you to it.
Yeah.
Where does this all start? I believe it starts a bit further up the road as... No, right there, Le Bon Van Leer goes around.
20, nowhere to go.
Oh, Gilmore nowhere
And
to go.
then it's roadblock all the way around.
Oh, the 33 with a hard lick. Viguera's already sideways entering the shot. I wonder if he got punted from behind to enter this mess. It's just a tough break when you get so many drivers that all get stacked up in all of this. As there's a look coming at you, and yeah, Vigner got turned by Charlie Birch.
It's in a bad spot, too.
Oh,
Coming
yeah.
out of the turn, the drivers can't see anything with that banking.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, that's just the product of Bristol racing, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do in that instance but hang on and try to survive the melee. It's a tough break for quite a few trucks that got into this, as there's at least 8 trucks that got involved. That was the back half of the field pretty much that got caught up.
Yeah, the list not involved would be a lot easier to go through.
Oh. Take a look from the air. And it all just takes that one mistake from one driver, and it causes all of this. Le Bon Van Leer has been given an end of the longest line penalty. Going to ride on board here with the driver of the number 40 truck.
Yeah, he did a good job stopping it. And the other 2 with him did, too.
Yeah, Zachary Groover doing a heck of a job here. On board. Oh, man. I think he may have just barely scraped the wall, but, I mean, I'll take that.
If I was still out there, I'd take the wall tap over, the pile up anytime.
And then Aaron Raymond comes off of turn 4 under caution to see this in front of him. You saw how rapidly he jammed on the binders as well, because where do you go?
Hope you can get it stopped in time.
Pretty much. That's all you can do there. Just hope for the best, as... Gosh, that's a hard lick into the outside wall, too. There were a few trucks that... Did Mike Bagwell escape down low in that?
And another one?
I think he may have. Right on board with the 13 here, and then we'll jump back. I think we might be about to go back to green flag racing here. But, oh,
Little tap,
not quite.
It'd be all right.
Well, the pace truck about to get us back to green flag racing here. As the pace truck softened, we are back underway now with just 29 laps to go. Paul Witt, Scott Rankin once again. Digging it out for best of the rest while Raymond hightails it out in front. And this time it's Witt to clear for the spot. And of course immediately jump back because we know if we get a wreck, it's going to be in this cluster. It always has been all night long. Rankin is trying to attack Paul Witt for the number 2 spot, although he's trying to go around the inside, which is always a choice. Witt's got that outside pretty well covered, so Rankin's got no option to try to make the inside work. Thought about a bit of 3 wide coming out of turn number 2 there. Vicnair, oh, they're going to go 3 wide now. Golker gets into Burge, gets into Vicnair. They're into the wall. They survive, though. We'll keep it green. But just again, to prove that point, 3 wide is a no-go at Bristol Motor Speedway. What's the definition of insanity, right? I mean, keep trying something and expect a different result.
Doing everything the same and expecting a different result. Yep. And 3 wide is going to end the same every time.
Might not end with a caution, but it'll end with somebody on the wall as, whoa, well, that's a bit of involuntary 3 wide as Zachary Groover and Vicnair both getting way loose out of turn 4 and sliding it down. That's no fault of Charlie Burge there, who fired around the top of the boat. He was just running his own line, and they again managed to survive it. We're really into that end game now of this race, and already Raymond out by 1.2 seconds. It's insane the pace that 6 trucks had under him tonight.
I'd like to know his secrets. Ooh, we got some sideways in the back.
Not
Yeah,
quite.
I managed to hold on to it.
Yeah, held on to it. So keeping tabs on the scrap for 5th. John Holliday trying to keep Zane Bailey at bay. Jeff Gilmore coming under fire from Thomas Lane Jr., who's found himself involved in a couple of incidents tonight. Holliday into the wall will let Zane Bailey into 5th. And then here's everyone else. You still see Jeff Gilmore struggling with that long run pace. Golker McRoberts getting around him, and the yellow is out, and we got Zane Bailey spun sideways after just taking the 5th place. Fifth place to losing a lap. Unfortunate. John Holliday was behind him, but that would have been by himself. And man, Holliday with a lucky break there. That's a bad place to be stopped too. I mean, that is right dead center in the middle of the racetrack. Very lucky that that wasn't a worse incident.
Yeah, if it had been any earlier on that front stretch where his truck was stopped, it would have been a bigger pile up from everybody coming out of the turn.
I think John Holliday may have just barely clipped the 20, but you see how many trucks just came within about a micrometer of it.
Just too much throttle there on exit, it looks like.
Valda escapes down low, and this will be a look on board with the rear of Zane Bailey, and this I cannot stress how close this got to some of the other trucks that just barely blitzed by. This will give a good indication, though. I mean, oh my God. I mean, look at that. That was...
That two was close.
Yeah, Tom Golker had a heart stopper there. Take a look on board with Golker. He's in a side-by-side battle as well, with this all going on with Ryan McRoberts and Jeff Gilmore, so he's in a fierce battle pack. Comes off the corner, sees Zane Bailey, and oh man. Talk about a close shave, and I mean, well, there's one of the TV cameras I was getting a look at Golker here as he was firing up around the top side of the racetrack. Watch this here. As he sees Zane, right about there, he sees Bailey. And look at this, I mean, he effectively locked the rears there for a minute, jamming the brakes. That is incredible that nobody hit him.
Well, I'm just glad I got the stress of driving here over. It's done. It's rough out there tonight. It'll go green with what, 11 to go, maybe?
Well, I think it'll be 12. I don't think we're 2 to green. Yeah, well, I think we're 2 to green right now. So
We're coming to 2 to green here, I think.
we'll find out.
Yep. Oh, 1 to green.
Aha. You run through the same caution procedure 21 times. You get used to the timing of these things.
Right. I haven't been here the whole time.
I guess 50 plus if you count the other 2 races we've had here at Bristol in the past.
Yeah.
Among many others.
I think a lot of it has to do with our fuel load here tonight.
Yeah.
It's making these kind of hard to drive.
Well, Scott Rankin was talking about that earlier on, about how that fuel load was really impacting how the splitter drove these trucks and how that wasn't making it any easier. Well, the pace truck's off. Green flag's out. We are underway once again. Matt scrambled through 1. Raymond has pulled clear. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all single filing out. So the battle is on for about 10th on back.
3 wide again.
Bit of 3 wide in the back end. No. Well, they're still wrecking up here. There's more trucks going around. Swafford, Gilmore, Van Leer, all getting involved. I think Swafford was way up the road, and well, a messy restart on this one as we'll look back on what happened to Van Leer, and I think this is where it kind of starts. You mentioned 3 wide. There it is, Bagwell and the 33 of Jordan Jung there. The 60 just got loose.
Got loose and wiggled.
And 3 wide had nothing to do with it. Gets tagged by Swafford and hard into the wall, and then Pyler gets drilled by the 26 and spun around as well. And then here you see Jeff Gilmore getting involved to boot. At speed. That's all, and then you see Pyler going around. Little tag to the wall. I mean, other than that, I mean, relatively tame incident as far as incidents have gone, all things considered tonight, as Bailey gets the lucky dog.
Yeah, if it had been farther forward, it'd caught a lot more trucks up in it.
Well, we thanked them at the start of the broadcast. We'll thank them again now. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Network Alliance for Veterans. NAV is a program that informs veterans of programming available and services throughout the northeast area of Indiana. Network Alliance also looks outside of Indiana for extra benefits and programs and benefits veterans and their families, all while promoting programs on the NAV site, such as Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, and the Fraternal Order of Eagles. Cecil Ross networks with other organizations such as the Women Veterans Alliance out of California. And last but not least, the Network Alliance for Veterans YouTube channel contains live stories and podcasts and does advertise various events and benefits. And they're bringing you all of the action as one of the main sponsors for the TNGG IEL Truck Series here in 2024. And of course, tonight's race brought to you by Adminboxx as well. We've been playing their ads throughout the course of the evening as well. Coming on board a bit midway through the season, Adminboxx, of course, sponsoring several different leagues, including the Speed Tires Plus Cup Series on Thursday nights. And with 7 laps to go, we'll be back in a moment with the final dash to the finish. Well, getting set to go back to green flag racing with 5 laps to go, and big problems for Laban Van Leer as he has been given a drive-through and an end of the long slide penalty. That is his second at-fault incident. So huge trouble for Van Leer. That effectively knocks him out of contention for any kind of major point scoring position. Of course, he was already in pit road. He's been in there for 3 minutes, so more of a formality, if anything, but still, he'll go on record. And the pace truck will get set to take us down into turn numbers 3 and 4. 5-lap shootout to decide this race as Aaron Raymond takes us back to the green flag. Jim Duda picks up second, try to see if he can run down Raymond for the race lead. Raymond currently has pulled it out in front though. 4 to go at the line. 2 wide, double file back, another caution. Puts us into 1 of 2 overtime attempts. And there's a lot of side-by-side action in behind in any one of these battles. There it is, Scott Rankin. One of the big contenders is around. He'll slam the inside wall. No yellow yet. He'll get it back onto the racetrack. There's going to have to be a caution here. He is stopped in the middle of the racetrack.
This is going to be bad.
Oh, my gosh, and caution is out. He'll get it back rolling, and we have just gone into overtime. That could have been a very nasty incident, and overtime attempt number 1 of 2. As Scott Rankin gets into the side of Charlie Birch, coming off at 2. Just came up on him.
Yep.
Thought Birch would be further up towards the wall than he was, and noses it into the inside fence.
Yeah, it's the outside line here on the exit. There's a little bit of a transition. So it's kind of scary being up there towards that wall and trying to get it all throttle you can. You get that transition, it'll snap you loose. So that's why drivers are staying away from that wall a little bit on the outside.
Well, you also have to try to arc the line back down as well towards the inside line just so you can get a better run off the corner. Otherwise, you're almost guaranteed to go into the wall. And that doesn't make it any easier.
Yep, one truck going up, one coming down, and there's no room in the middle for 2.
I was really hoping you'd complete the Darrell Waltrip quote and say, and one going around. You have disappointed me on this day. Well, we are... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'll say I've disappointed a lot of people in my lifetime so far, so...
Hey, make it double. I talk about video game racing for a living. Well, we'll be going to our lone road course race next week. The Empire State 120, 50 laps around Watkins Glen International. It's a long race, 120 miles around Watkins Glen International. And then, of course, New Hampshire Motor Speedway will be the week after. Then Charlotte Motor Speedway and Nashville Super Speedway will round out the month of April. So full racing action getting sorted for the April month. As in the meantime, to kick off that April month, on Monday night, the High Tide Racing League Empire Racing Designs Cup Series will swing to Phoenix Raceway on April 1st, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, as they'll go for their duel in the desert of Avondale, Arizona. Coming off of a good race in Nevada at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. On April 2nd, the OMSRL Truck Series bounces back to Hampton, Georgia, to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final race of the regular series season, getting set to reset the points for the chase. And then April 3rd, the title fight for the beer league continues to get ever closer, with last week's race having the top groups, about the top 5 separated by only 20 points. It was insanely close, and now only 2 races left to go. That'll be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on April 3rd as well. That, and of course, Speed and TNGG, along with ASRL, will all be back in action. And of course, the Classic IndyCar Series is back in action as well this coming Sunday. Well, not this Sunday, next Sunday as well. And I believe, if you didn't miss the race at Circuit of the Americas, last week's race will be rebroadcasted on all of ESTV's distribution platforms tomorrow morning as well. So you can feel free to check those out and tune in there as well. But the lights have gone out. 2 laps to go at the line.
Let's see if we can end this one under green.
Wishful thinking. We'll see how this one pans out. They just got to make it half a mile. It's all it takes. 16 trucks still on the lead lap. Raymond to the restart zone. Green flags out. 2 laps to go in green-white check attempt number 1. Duda to the inside immediately, trying to hound Aaron Raymond. But Raymond pulling clear early on. 2 wide all the way back through this field. Will make it back. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Raymond continuing to drive clear. Clear by 3. Clear by 4. Almost 5. Raymond out of turn numbers 3 and 4. And Aaron Raymond to victory lane for the Adminboxx 250. Overall, a clean finish to end this race. No last lap melees. It was about as clean of a finish as you could hope for. After an unbelievably wild race. And Raymond will burn it down in Bristol, Tennessee, taking the W for Highgate, Vermont.
Well, even though I'm not racing anymore, I'm glad this race is over.
Trust me, my throat is thankful as well. Holy cow, what a race as he's going to do that burnout all the way down into turn numbers, into turn number 4. So we will get set to take a rundown of your official post-race results here in this one after a wild race, to put it mildly, from Bristol, Tennessee. It is Aaron Raymond, after 23 yellows, to take the victory after surviving the last great Coliseum. Jim Duda picks up second, and Paul Witt will secure third. John Holliday was in the number 4 spot with Tom Golker in 5th. Thomas Lane Jr. was 6th. Charlie Birch was 7th. Mike Campbell is in 8th. Zane Bailey 9th. Jeff Gilmore rounds out the top 10. Michael Gudger, John Boalta Jr., Ryan McRoberts, Jordan McNair, George Rincon, and Greg Pyler will round out the top 16 of the cars on the lead lap. Finishing laps down, you had Scott Rankin, Mike Bagwell, Noah Swafford, Zachary Groover. And they're not finishing this race at all. Jordan Jung, Lamont Van Leer, Cody Ricketts, Anthony Lane, Dale Rapp, Robert Marlin, of course, Brad Slago, who was generous enough to come on up here and give you a bit of a helping hand up here in the broadcast booth at the end of what was a very, very long night of racing indeed. We'll try to get a talk back on with some of these drivers and how they believe their race had gone so far throughout the course of this evening. And, of course, we'll be looking to kick things off first and foremost with your race winner, Aaron Raymond, here at the end of the night, as we'll take the racer out of Highgate, Vermont, who comes to victory lane. And, well, Aaron, you take this one home. It was a long and arduous race, though, but you survived to win in the Coliseum.
Yeah, the race was fun when we went green. My truck was a rocket ship. Hopefully I passed tech. It was a lot of fun to drive up through the field a bunch of times.
That was the next point I was going to bring up. I mean, that truck just had pace that was completely unmatchable, even though drivers were trying to follow your lines. I mean, what did you have under that hood tonight? An extra 100 horsepower?
I don't know. I think I might have had a couple extra degrees of a spoiler angle in it, but it definitely hooked up, and I actually managed to run a full lap, full throttle on one of the restarts.
I know that you've been in a really good run so far here throughout the course of the afternoon, and of course over the course of the season as well. Top 5 of the points entering this race, but you got a lot of drivers like Scott Rankin that have been doing a lot to keep you behind. Do you reckon you're going to have anything for them by season's end?
You can always hope that you're up front, consistent, but things happen, and I'm just going to run as well as I can and hopefully get myself up and hopefully win a second championship.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to celebrating. Congratulations on taking your race win tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
That was Aaron Raymond joining us up here in the broadcast booth. That takes us down to the second-place finisher tonight. It is Jim Duda, who's able to come home and pick up the number 2 spot here. Just falling short of the race win here tonight, Jim, but you gave it everything you got there in those final 2 laps. Kind of walk us through it, because I know you were mired in the midfield for much of this race.
Yeah, we had nothing for Aaron. Aaron was awful fast tonight. They unloaded him quick. I think I burnt my tires up that last run trying to get to the front of the field. I had a good truck tonight. We got caught up in a mess early in the race and just kind of decided to ride it out and kind of pick people off as we go up and through.
Overall, pit strategies seem to really kind of impact how this race is going to go. What kind of contributed to which yellow flags you took advantage of and which ones you decided to stay out on?
Well, mainly we were just looking at fuel, what the fuel was. So I came in a couple times and just took fuel only. The tires were good. The first pit stop, tires had a high percentage yet, so I know we weren't using a whole lot of tires. So basically it was like, well, if it comes green, could we go all the way? These guys are going to have to stop, head under green. We're good on fuel, so.
Fair enough. And, well, we look forward now to the 6th place position in the points for you entering this race, of course. You were only 23 points out to the points leader, and now with Scott Rankin finishing as far down as he did, you could very well be able to close that gap in. Do you reckon you're going to be in it for the title by season's end?
Well, I think we all think we're going to do it, but I really hope I am. That's what we're here to do, right? Make the boss happy.
Well, fair enough. We'll let you get back to celebrating, and, well, we'll see if you can continue that strong momentum come Watkins Glen.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You guys do a great job, by the way. Thanks.
And thank you, Jim, as well. As that was Jim Duda, your 2nd-place finisher here at the end of the night. We'll move on down to Paul Witt, the 3rd and final podium finisher here at the end of the night. As, well, Paul Witt, you join us up here, +2 on the day. You were one of the front runners all night long. Walk us through it, because I know this is a big podium for you.
Nolan, I have no idea how I did it, because when I got that accident on lap 50, I had 3.5 minutes of optional, and my RPMs were down to 1130. So I have no idea how I did it.
Well, kind of walk us through, because it was a huge drive to get back through the field after you got some of those damages repaired. And, of course, you had a lot of cautions to get those damages repaired as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, I never fixed any damage on it. I just left it. I left it the way it was. I just left it, and with me being down on RPMs, I could actually drive it off a whole lot harder than some of these guys, because I wasn't getting loose because I didn't have more power to the back end. So, and I was just following Aaron through the field there. At the one time, I was just following him, letting him take me through the field. But the truck felt good, even though I was down on power. But it was fine. It felt really good.
Well, we look forward next week to Watkins Glen International in upstate New York. It's going to be the only road course race here of the season. What do you reckon we're going to be seeing from what'll be a long 50-lapper in upstate New York?
Yeah, long 50-lapper, but there won't be any cautions. So it'll go by pretty quick. And as long as you can stay on the track and minimize your mistakes, you'll come out of there with a pretty good finish. But you're going to have to stay on the track.
Staying on the track will be key. You were certainly able to keep that car on the track tonight, and you run it through to a 3rd-place finish. We'll wish you the best of luck then next week at Watkins Glen.
Thanks, Nolan. Appreciate you.
That was Paul Witt joining us up here in the broadcast booth, and what an absolutely huge night it was. There was so much racing here in this one. My goodness. I mean, I have no words as to how that race panned out, but it's going to be a pretty wild night. There's a lot coming up over the next little while to be excited about, as it'll be, of course, the High Tide Racing League and Racing Designs Cup Series to go racing on Monday night down in Avondale, Arizona, to cap off their dual race in the desert. The OMSRL Truck Series will be racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final race of the regular series season. And, of course, the Beer League will be racing down for their penultimate race down on Wednesday night as well. The TNGG IEL Truck Series will be back in full action next week in April as they get set to swing it on out to Watkins Glen International. With that, my name is Ola Rempel. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join us for what has been an absolutely thrilling drive here tonight of Saturday night racing. I know I was ill, but we made the most of it, and what a race it was. We'll see you next week in New York.